In 1978, Superman didn't just bring a hero to the big screen. It opened the door to a world of untold stories behind the spotlight. Behind every iconic role was a real life filled with triumphs, heartbreak, and incredible resilience, like Christopher Reeve, who became a true symbol of strength and determination after a tragic accident. Each actor left their own mark, not just on film, but in real life, helping shape the lasting legacy of this cinematic legend. Let's dive into the stories you've never heard, from the bright lights of Hollywood to the darker corners of real life. If you found this story interesting, leave a comment with the number 1. If not, comment 0. Either way, we want to hear from you. And don't forget to like, share this video, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss more fascinating behind-the-scenes stories. Let's begin the journey right now. At the age of 26, Christopher Reeve became a global icon with his outstanding portrayal of Clark Kent, or Superman, in the blockbuster Superman 1978. With his impressive height, ideal appearance, and intelligent demeanor, he delivered a classic image of Superman, one that set the standard for superhero roles for decades to come. The role not only catapulted Reeve to the height of fame, but also created high expectations for the Man of Steel, both on and off screen. Born on September 25, 1952, in Manhattan, New York, Christopher Reeve received formal training at Juilliard, one of the world's most prestigious art schools. At the peak of his career and happily married to Dana Morosini, Reeve's life took an unexpected turn. On May 27, 1995, during an equestrian competition in Virginia, he suffered a serious accident. His horse stopped abruptly, throwing him off and breaking 2 vertebrae in his neck. The accident left Reeve paralyzed from the neck down, unable to breathe on his own, and dependent on a ventilator for the rest of his life. However, instead of giving in to despair, Reeve became an enduring source of inspiration. He not only overcame physical limitations, but also became a tireless advocate for stem cell research and the rights of people with disabilities. By his side was Dana, his loyal and strong wife, who remained steadfastly with him through the most difficult times. On October 10, 2004, Christopher Reeve passed away at the age of 52 due to heart failure, a complication from his paralysis. At the time of his death, he was still wearing his wedding ring, a symbol of the unconditional love he and Dana shared. She passed away just 17 months later, as if their souls simply couldn't be apart for long. Reeve's net worth was estimated at around $10 million, but the legacy he left behind far exceeds any number. For millions around the world, Christopher Reeve was not only Superman on screen, he was the embodiment of courage, perseverance, and belief in real-life miracles. At the age of 30, Margot Kidder made a lasting impression with her role as Lois Lane in Superman 1978. She portrayed a sharp, courageous, and captivating reporter for the Daily Planet, Clark Kent's companion and love interest. With her bright eyes and distinctive voice, Margot was not only the perfect on-screen partner to Christopher Reeve, but also set the standard for future portrayals of Lois Lane. Behind the radiant image of a Hollywood star was a fierce soul constantly battling herself. Born on October 17, 1948, in Yellowknife, Canada, Margot Kidder was known for her bold, free-spirited personality. Yet beneath that strength was a woman who had been struggling with bipolar disorder from an early age, leading to cycles of emotional highs and lows and numerous challenges in her personal life. In 1996, the entire United States was shaken when Margot went missing for several days and was found in a fragile, disoriented state in the bushes of a stranger's yard. Although she made a powerful return to the public eye afterward, Margot could never fully escape the lingering pain of her illness and the relentless pressures of the entertainment industry. In her final years, Margot chose a simple and peaceful life in Livingston, Montana, surrounded by majestic nature and the pack of wolves she regularly cared for. She once said she wished to be wrapped in a bedsheet and carried away by the wolves when she died. On May 13, 2018, Margot Kidder passed away at the age of 69 from an intentional overdose of alcohol and medication, a decision considered voluntary, though it remains a source of controversy among her family and friends. Her net worth was estimated at around $3 million. In the hearts of her fans, the most beautiful image of Margot Kidder is that of her alone in the wild, gently touching the fur of a wolf, with a smile that was both fierce and tender. At the age of 48, Gene Hackman left a lasting mark with his portrayal of the villain Lex Luthor in Superman 1978. As a cunning, manipulative, and intelligent adversary, he became an essential counterpart to Superman on screen. A seasoned actor and Academy Award winner, Hackman was known for his powerful presence and deep emotional range. Born on January 30, 1930, in San Bernardino, California, Gene Hackman lived a vibrant life marked by outstanding roles and a private personal life few knew about. As he aged, he gradually withdrew from the spotlight to live a quiet life with his second wife, classical pianist Betsy Arakawa, in Santa Fe, New Mexico. In February 2025, tragedy struck when Betsy passed away from a rare virus, while Hackman was battling heart disease and late-stage dementia. Both were discovered deceased several days later in their isolated home with no family members nearby. Gene Hackman passed away on February 17, 2025, at the age of 95. His net worth was estimated at around $80 million. Although his will left his assets to his wife, the fact that they died so close together sparked much reflection and controversy. In the hearts of friends and family, Hackman was not only a brilliant villain on screen, but also a devoted husband and a complex yet sincere father. His life ended like a final scene in a movie, quiet, solitary, yet deeply humane. At the age of 54, Marlon Brando made a brief but memorable appearance in Superman 1978 as Jor-El, Superman's biological father. Although he appeared only in the film's opening minutes, Brando commanded a record-breaking salary for the time, highlighting his special allure and status in Hollywood. With his sorrowful eyes, sacred aura, and warm, captivating voice, Brando portrayed not just an alien father, but also a talented man marked by deep tragedy. Born on April 3, 1924 in Omaha, Nebraska, Brando grew up in a broken family with an abusive father and an alcoholic mother. These childhood traumas helped shape his rebellious, stubborn, and uncompromising personality. As a pioneer of method acting, Brando made his mark with iconic roles such as Stanley in A Streetcar Named Desire and Terry in On the Waterfront. However, off-screen, he was a complex man, notorious for tangled romantic relationships, substance abuse, and shocking statements. Brando openly admitted to having had same-sex experiences and never hid his true self. His family life was marked by a series of tragedies. His son Christian was convicted of murder, his daughter Cheyenne committed suicide, and numerous lawsuits and divorces left him facing financial difficulties in his later years. On July 1, 2004, Marlon Brando passed away in Los Angeles from respiratory and heart failure at the age of 80. At that time, he lived in solitude and illness, weighing over 136 kilograms. Despite a net worth of around $20 million, his life remained a complex symphony of genius, desire, and profound loneliness. When Brando said, "I don't care what people think about me," he truly lived by those words, breaking all norms and leaving an immortal mark on the history of cinema. At the age of 40, Terrence Stamp made a strong impression as General Zod, Superman's notorious enemy in Superman 1978. With his cold demeanor, piercing gaze, and authoritative voice, Stamp not only haunted audiences, but also became a classic villain icon of the era. Born on July 22, 1938 in East London, Terrence Henry Stamp was romantically linked to many beauty icons such as Brigitte Bardot, Julie Christie, and John Shrimpton. His turbulent love life made him a tabloid media focus. When Shrimpton left him, Stamp suffered a severe mental crisis and decided to withdraw from Hollywood, seeking meditation and enlightenment in Indian monasteries. That period of seclusion profoundly transformed him from a sensual icon into a philosophical recluse. He once joked that he had been thrown off the horse of sexual indulgence after 6 decades of clinging to it and felt relieved to let it go. By 2025, at the age of 87, he still maintained his elegant style, wearing a classic 1968 suit as a statement of endurance and individuality. Stamp's net worth is around $10 million, but the true value he leaves behind lies in his inner transformation and deep impact on audiences. He chose yoga and meditation over chaotic nights, embracing tranquility instead of turmoil. Jackie Cooper was 56 years old when he returned to the screen as Perry White, the hot-tempered but principled editor-in-chief of the Daily Planet in the 1978 Superman series. With his authentic acting and commanding presence, Cooper not only brought life to a classic supporting character, but also proved that a child star from the 1930s could endure and shine in the ever-changing world of Hollywood. Few people know that when he shouted the line, "The ghost of great Caesar," he carried with him a life full of hardships, bitterness, but also resilience. Born on September 15, 1922 in Los Angeles, John Cooper Jr. entered the film industry before he could even read a script. From a lovable boy in the Our Gang series to an Oscar nominee at just 9 years old for his role in Skippy, Jackie was once an icon of the American dream. However, his childhood was far from peaceful. His mother was emotionally abusive, and his uncle, who was also a director, once threatened to shoot his beloved dog just to get a genuine reaction for a scene. After World War II, Cooper's career stalled, and he fell into depression and alcoholism. Instead of giving up, he left Hollywood, moved to New York to rebuild his life, and developed a career in Broadway theater television, directing and running a production company. Although he once vowed never to return to acting, he eventually came back quietly and courageously. On May 3, 2011, Jackie Cooper passed away peacefully in Santa Monica, California, at the age of 88, leaving behind no scandals or final tragedies. His net worth was estimated at around $5 million. He titled his memoir, "Please Don't Shoot My Dog," not only as a tribute to his painful past, but also as a humorous way to forgive and accept. Jackie Cooper left the world with the image of an honest, brave life continually growing and evolving. At the age of 35, Valerie Perrine became a silver screen beauty icon with her role as Eve Teschmacher, the seductive yet cunning lover of Lex Luthor in Superman 1978. With her mischievous smile, alluring figure, and comedic acting, Valerie brought a fresh breeze to a cinematic universe dominated by serious heroes. Although it was a supporting role, it marked the peak of her career before poor choices and Hollywood's indifference toward women past their prime gradually pulled her down. Born on September 3, 1943 in Galveston, Texas, Valerie Ritchie Perrine was a sensation of the 1970s. She stood out with her role as Honey Bruce in Lenny 1974, earning an Oscar nomination and a Cannes Award. From a Las Vegas stripper, she rose to become a promising lead actress. However, behind the spotlight were turbulent years marked by complicated relationships, drug rumors, and a career derailment after the film Can't Stop the Music, 1980. She narrowly escaped death in the Manson family massacre thanks to a last-minute shift change, a fateful detail that haunted her for life. Over time, Valerie gradually faded into obscurity, living quietly with increasingly minor roles while battling Parkinson's disease diagnosed in 2015. In 2017, she underwent dental surgery due to side effects from her treatment. As of 2025, Valerie Perrine is 82 years old, living a secluded life in Beverly Hills, California, with a net worth of about $1 million, a modest amount compared to her former fame. Her life was documented in the 2020 film Valerie, showcasing the journey of a star who once shone brightly but was gradually worn down by time and illness. Despite everything, she still retains a special charm, a grace that only those who have experienced both the heights and depths of life can possess. If you enjoyed this content and want to keep exploring, don't forget to hit like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exciting videos. Let's continue the journey together right now. At the age of 35, Jack O'Halloran sent chills through global audiences with his role as Non, the giant, silent, and brutal henchman in Superman 1978. Standing 6 feet tall, his hollow yet sorrowful eyes resembled a lost child hidden behind terrifying strength. Without uttering a word, O'Halloran instilled fear on screen. Few know that behind this seemingly emotionless character was a man who had lived under the spotlight within the shadows of crime and harbored secrets Hollywood dared not touch. Born on April 8, 1943 in Philadelphia, Jack was the illegitimate son of mob boss Albert Anastasia, the founder of Murder, Inc., and one of the most feared figures in American organized crime. Although he wasn't raised directly within the public face of the underworld, Jack was quickly drawn into its web of power and violence, working as muscle for underground casinos and becoming involved in illegal gambling operations tied closely to the boxing world. At one point, he was even considered a potential heir to the family's criminal empire. However, inner conflict and a near-fatal purge forced Jack to retreat, leading him to a reclusive life in Boston. Leaving the underworld was anything but easy. He was hunted, cut off from contacts, and left nearly penniless. But Jack chose to start over, returning to the stage and screen, finding success with Farewell, My Lovely 1975. As of 2025, Jack O'Halloran is 82 years old, living quietly and occasionally appearing at fan conventions. He has taken to writing, including his controversial memoir, Family Legacy, which details his connection to the mafia. With a net worth of about $1 million, he measures fame not in wealth, but in the personal victory of overcoming the ghosts of his past. At the age of 41, Ned Beatty made audiences both laugh and squirm with his portrayal of Otis, the bumbling, greedy, yet oddly endearing right-hand man of Lex Luthor in Superman 1978. Though a supporting role, Beatty brought a subtle and unique charm, skillfully balancing the tension of villainy with the nobility of heroism. Born on July 6, 1937 in Louisville, Kentucky, Ned began his career in a church choir before stepping onto the theater stage at 19. He was never the typical Hollywood star basking in glamour, but his authenticity and unpretentious nature made him one of the most dependable and respected character actors in the industry. Often cast in humorous, bumbling, or endearingly plump roles, Beatty still delivered powerful performances in films like Deliverance 1972 and Network 1976. His role as Otis in Superman earned him an Oscar nomination. Though he sometimes felt disappointed about not landing leading roles, he never grew bitter. He once said, "I feel sorry for people who have to become stars. It's not natural." On June 13, 2021, Ned Beatty passed away peacefully at his home in Los Angeles at the age of 83. The cause of death was kept private, likely due to age and declining health. His net worth was estimated at $5 million. He left quietly, but behind him he left a warm smile etched into more than 160 roles, a legacy of humility, humor, and heart. At the age of 26, Sarah Douglas delivered a striking performance as Ursa, the ruthless female warrior from Krypton in Superman 1978, catapulting her to global fame. With her sharp features, icy gaze, and cold, commanding presence, Douglas became an iconic female villain in the world of science fiction. Born on December 12, 1952 in Stratford-upon-Avon, she trained at the National Youth Theatre and Rose Bruford College before pursuing a professional acting career. Beating out over 600 candidates for the role of Ursa, her path to success was anything but easy. Hollywood in the 1980s was unforgiving to strong women like her. Sarah Douglas spoke out against sexism and ageism in the industry. After Superman 2 and her villainous turn as Queen Taramis in Conan the Destroyer, her career shifted toward supporting roles, television appearances, and voice acting in superhero animation. As of 2025, Sarah Douglas is 73 years old and remains active, frequently appearing at Superman fan events, celebrated as a living legend. Her net worth is around $2 million, a modest figure compared to Ursa's lasting cultural impact, but a reflection of a resilient career built on integrity rather than artificial fame. At the age of 62, Glenn Ford delivered one of the most heartfelt and emotionally resonant performances in Superman 1978, as Jonathan Kent Clark Kent's calm and devoted adoptive father. Though he appeared only in the film's early scenes, his gentle eyes and soft-spoken voice left a lasting impression, reminding us that even superheroes need a compassionate heart to grow. However, Glenn Ford's real life was filled with contradictions and secrets. Born in 1916 in Quebec, Glenn Ford was one of Hollywood's most sought-after stars from the 1940s through the 1960s, known for his handsome looks and naturalistic acting style. Yet behind the polished image, Ford became infamous for secretly recording every phone call he made or received over more than 40 years' conversations with family members, politicians, and famous colleagues like Richard Nixon, Ronald Reagan, Frank Sinatra, and Ava Gardner. This behavior stemmed from deep-seated insecurity, jealousy, and an obsession with betrayal. It began when he started monitoring his first wife, actress Eleanor Powell, who later divorced him due to his infidelity and increasingly cruel behavior. Glenn Ford had at least 146 romantic relationships with actresses, the most memorable being his long-running affair with Rita Hayworth. He was also involved with many major stars such as Joan Crawford, Marilyn Monroe, and Judy Garland. These relationships led to 4 failed marriages and a reputation as someone who struggled with commitment. Beneath his polished appearance, Ford confessed in his diaries to feelings of emptiness, an addiction to conquest, and a long battle with alcoholism throughout the 1950s and 60s. He passed away in 2006 at the age of 90 after years of battling heart disease and circulatory complications, leaving behind an estate worth approximately $12 million. Despite a glorious career, many mourned the fact that his final years were marked by loneliness and poor health. At the age of 39, Susanna York delivered a remarkable performance as Lara Superman's biological mother in Superman 1978. Although she appeared only in a few flashback scenes on the planet Krypton, her delicate beauty, clear blue eyes and regal demeanor perfectly portrayed a noble, intelligent, and self-sacrificing mother. Born in 1939 in London to an intellectual family, Susanna stood out early on for her rebellious spirit. She was once expelled from school for skinny dipping at midnight, but her natural talent and strong personality helped her rise to become a leading British film star of the 1960s. She earned acclaim for standout roles in Tom Jones, 1963, and They Shoot Horses, Don't They, 1969, receiving an Oscar nomination. However, she openly criticized the suffocating atmosphere and gender biases within the film industry. Often seen more as a beauty than a profound artist, she gradually withdrew from commercial roles and shifted her focus to theater, where she could fully control her emotions and creativity. In her later years, diagnosed with multiple myeloma, a painful form of bone cancer, Susanna refused chemotherapy and continued performing until the very end. She passed away in 2011 at the age of 72 at Royal Marsden Hospital, leaving behind a net worth of approximately $3 million. At age 21, Mark McClure played the young reporter Jimmy Olsen in the blockbuster Superman 1978. He maintained this role throughout 4 films, spanning nearly a decade, becoming an indispensable character alongside Clark Kent, the loyal, innocent friend who is always curious about the world around Superman. In 1978, when the superhero universe was just beginning to shine in Hollywood, Mark was the only actor to consistently portray Jimmy Olsen throughout the entire film series, a rare and admirable achievement. Born on March 31, 1957, in San Mateo, California, before stepping into the spotlight, he was just an ordinary boy, growing up in a turbulent America. Mark's life was free of scandal or controversy, yet carried a quiet loneliness. Early success boxed him into the image of Jimmy Olsen, making leading roles nearly impossible to come by. Later, he accepted only small parts in films like Back to the Future and TV series such as Smallville Justice League. Hollywood seemed to remember him mostly as a face from the past. By 2025, Mark McClure was 68 years old, living quietly away from the spotlight, occasionally taking on small projects to honor his fans. With a net worth of about $1 million, he leads a simple life, but holds deep pride in the role of Jimmy Olsen, the kindest and most loyal friend ever portrayed on screen. Would you like me to help you write more about any other actors from Superman 1978? If you love stories behind the silver screen and want to uncover more fascinating mysteries about legendary film icons, don't forget to like and share this video to spread the passion to the fan community, and especially be sure to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on upcoming exciting videos about the world of cinema and little-known stories. Thank you for watching until the end, and see you in the next videos.